Two words: Oprah Winfrey. When she first started off, she was a talk show host. Now she has, Old Magazine. She has Oh That's Good Food. She has her own network, OWN. By the way, I have been featured on The Rock. Started off doing wrestling. Come on, everybody knows the "Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?" We all did it as kids. And now he's one of the highest paid actors in the world, aka Mr. Dwayne Johnson. So what does Oprah and Dwayne Johnson have to do with this video? Well, they both pivoted. They both started off doing something and then they evolved, they expanded, they scaled, they switched it up. So today's video, we're talking about pivoting. I'm gonna be sharing my own entrepreneur journey, what I've done differently, how I've switched it up, as well as why you should not feel bad for reinventing yourself and switching it up and pivoting when the time is necessary. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Breonna Queen. I am an entrepreneur, content creator, and I help people just like you, service providers, really grow their business and sell with ease. So today's video, I'm sharing my entrepreneur journey as well as sharing how it is okay for you to pivot in your own entrepreneur journey. So let's go ahead and let's get to it. So my entrepreneur journey was kind of by accident. I had graduated from college, could not find a job to save my life, but them bills was still looking at me. They was looking at me and I was looking at them, and I was looking at them and they was looking at me. So I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta figure out a way to pay these bills. So I decided to start my own business, just helping businesses around the area do their social media. And back then Twitter and Facebook was really hot, so technically I was a social media manager. And I had a client come to me and they wanted to get on YouTube, and at that time I didn't know anything about YouTube, so I started my YouTube channel just to help a client as a social media manager. So this YouTube channel, you guys may know, it is my Breonna Queen behind the scenes channel. It kind of blew up, right? Millions of views, over 85,000 subscribers, and I kind of pivoted. I went from being this person who did social media to switching up and doing my YouTube channel and kind of becoming a YouTuber. So my YouTube channel was not about business, it was about makeup, and I found that I really enjoyed doing makeup. People love watching my makeup tutorials, so I pivoted. I went from really being a social media manager to being a beauty YouTuber, and it kind of evolved into me doing beauty books, having my own cosmetics line, being a makeup artist. So all of those things happened, and it was a pivot. It was an accidental switch, right? So I was a makeup artist. I was doing makeup. I had lots of clients. I had a cosmetics line. I was getting sales every single day. I was technically a very successful makeup artist, but I didn't love it. It was more like a hobby that I was getting paid for, that I kind of wanted to keep as a hobby. So I decided I was gonna pivot again, back to business. As you guys know, I love business. My degrees are in business. I was doing business anyway with my full-time job. So I was like, you know what? We are switching up. We are moving away from beauty and being a beauty YouTuber to focusing more on business and marketing and advertising, because I've always loved business and advertising. And even as a makeup artist, my most favorite thing was like the marketing and advertising aspect of it. It actually wasn't the fulfillment of doing makeup, but the actual marketing of doing my makeup, and pretty much just helping women feel beautiful and amazing. So I made that shift from makeup, beauty, 2018, back to business, and I really focused on video marketing and personal branding, because it was kind of like a play on YouTube, right? Like YouTube's all about personal branding, it's all about video. So I really started focusing on video and personal branding because I had perfected that craft as a beauty YouTuber. So I pivoted and kind of shifted a lot. I went from social media manager to beauty YouTuber to beauty makeup artist, back to doing personal branding and marketing. And let me tell you guys, like, each shift was kind of scary. Each jump was kind of scary, but I learned so many things on every single phase of my entrepreneurship journey and every single phase of me, right? Because every time I pivoted, I was pivoting because I was a newer version of myself. I had grown, I had evolved, I had changed, and it was time to switch it up. So here's the thing. Every phase of your life, every phase of your business journey will require a different level and a different version of you. and that is okay. If you started off in the game doing social media management and you realize by doing that, like, hey, I actually really enjoy, branding, or I really enjoy marketing, and you find that you're really good at this certain thing, it is okay to pivot. And sometimes your pivot is completely different. Sometimes your pivot is from business to makeup. Your pivot is from construction to gaming. Sometimes your pivot is so different that people around you are like, what? But that's okay. Reinvent yourself as many times as you need to, as many times as you have to find out what works for you. The great thing about entrepreneurship is, as an entrepreneur, you're able to evolve. Oprah evolved, The Rock evolved, even Rihanna. Rihanna started off just doing singing, and now she has a cosmetics line, now she has a lingerie line, now she has a skincare line. Like, it is okay to evolve. If you find that you perfected your craft, or you find that you have done as much as you can, or you no longer have a passion or desire into something, or you just feel like, I feel really burnt out, sometimes that is a sign that it's okay to pivot. It's okay to switch it up. Social media management, it taught me how to be an entrepreneur, right? Like, how to sell myself and ask for the sale. And being a YouTuber, a beauty YouTuber, it taught me how to market myself better. Being a makeup artist, it taught me how to perform, like how to have customer service, do a really great job at customer service, as well as, having that cosmetics line and having those beauty books. It taught me the power of having digital products and upselling my offers. And going back to digital marketing and branding, as a strategist, it taught me, one, how to network better, how to build relationships, authentic relationships. It taught me how not to just think about today, but tomorrow. Like, where do I see myself in 10 years, 5 years? Ensuring that I have a business that is scalable. When do you feel it's time to pivot or switch things up? Well, number one, when you feel like things just aren't working, right? Like, you're doing the work, but something's missing. Like, you can't quite put your finger on it, but something just is not right. That could be a sign it's time to maybe pivot in a little baby way. So maybe the baby pivot is, instead of you offering, this 15 different kind of one-on-one services, you pivot to only offering just one. And maybe you have digital products, maybe you have coaching, maybe you have events, maybe it's time to kind of minimize it and only offer one thing or two things. That could be a little baby pivot that you may feel that you're ready for when you're kind of ready to just switch up the services that you offer. Another sign that it may be time to pivot is maybe you're just not excited about it anymore. As a makeup artist, I remember my goal, like my big dream was, I want to be booked to do makeup outside of the country. Like, I want to be an international makeup artist. And it happened. And I remember when it happened, I was just not fulfilled. I became this international makeup artist, and I just was like, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I liked. I just wasn't excited about it. So if you're not excited about your business anymore, you're getting clients, and you're just like, oh great. Like, there's a time when you're just not excited about the work. And I'm not talking about when you're burnt out and you just need to rest. I'm talking about truly to the core. You don't feel light, you don't light up at the thought of doing your job anymore. It's not fun. You don't enjoy it. You kind of actually despise it just a little bit. That may be a sign that it's time to pivot when you no longer enjoy what you do. Sometimes it's time to pivot because the market has changed, Maybe you focused on helping physical newspapers, distribute their newspapers all over. Well, in 2021, people don't really read physical newspapers like they did in the 1950s. So that is a sign that you need to pivot before you are out of business. So sometimes the pivot is just because of market changes, because things have changed, things have evolved, so you have to evolve with it. Let me say, sometimes a pivot is not necessary. Sometimes you just need to be persistent. Sometimes people want to pivot because they've tried something for 3 months and they're like, it's not working, I need to switch things up. Honestly, you guys, I don't think 3 months is a long enough time to really measure if something works or not. I always say give it at the bare minimum 6 months. If you're creating YouTube videos for 3 months, you may not see any success those first 3 months, right? Like, it takes time for YouTube videos to start picking up. Give it at least 6 months. If you're posting on social media, 3 times a week for 3 months, it may take a while people to really start registering as you as a problem solver, as you as an expert, as you as someone to take, unfortunately, serious. So sometimes it's not a pivot that you need. Sometimes it's just persistence. Ask yourself, how long have you been doing it? Ask yourself if you've been doing it well, because you have to do the work. If you've been doing something 6 months, but you have not been strategic and consistent with it, then that's not a good way to measure. Like inconsistency, and you're doing something inconsistently for 6 months, you're still not really going to see results because you haven't really been doing it right. So sometimes it's not a pivot that you need. Sometimes it's just persistent. So ask yourself, 1, have I been doing it long enough? 2, have I been doing it strategically? 3, have you been doing it consistently? And then 4, are you keeping at it? Because sometimes you just have to be patient. Ask yourself that, am I doing the work? Am I focused? Or am I just in a stage where I'm feeling, defeated, or I'm feeling like it's not working? Like, do I have these temporary emotions that are having me thinking I need to pivot? If you have those temporary emotions, and you know what temporary emotions are, when 1 minute you're high, the next minute you're low. When you're truly ready to pivot, it doesn't excite you for weeks and months on end. It's not a temporary feeling. So really ask yourself, is this just a temporary feeling that I'm getting because, I'm not seeing the results that I want fast enough? If that's the answer, then it may be persistence that you need and not necessarily pivoting. So I share my journey as well as my tips to help you if you feel like it's time to switch it up, change things, pivot, transform. I want you to know that it's perfectly okay to evolve. It's perfectly okay to change. Like when you see some of the biggest actors, entrepreneurs, people in the world, a lot of them started off doing one thing and they change into something else. It's perfectly fine to do that when the time is necessary. So if you enjoyed this video or podcast episode, then be sure to give me 5 stars on iTunes, or thumb this video up on YouTube, or like this video on Instagram, wherever you're watching this video, and let me know down below. Have you ever pivoted in business? Are you thinking about pivoting in business? Let me know. I'm interested. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys in my very next episode. Bye.